Hello and welcome back to episode 2 from Sounds from the Dockside. Today we've got Louise, is that right?
Yeah.
And Joel from Lola and the Cosmic Getaway.
Yep, that's right.
I'm your host, James.
I'm your host, Dave.
James and Dave. Yep, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How we doing?
All right, yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah? Been a bit ill, haven't you, Louise?
Yeah, I've been a bit ill, so...
You've muscled on through, haven't you?
It's tough being here, yeah. So, well, I'm
See
here.
you, Louise.
You've powered through and you've made it. We appreciate it. So we like to kick off our podcast just by getting to know you a little bit. So music aside, all that, who is Joel? Who is Louise?
After you, ladies first.
So I told you.
I'm a gentleman.
I'm Louise. I write all of the music. It's not about music, though, is it? Did you say it's just about...
Just tell us who you are. Where you come from? Who are you?
I come from
who makes
Grimsby.
Louise?
Grimsby born and bred. Absolutely love music. That's why I'm here. Mostly just love music, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because it takes me away from the reality of the big bad world. So, yeah.
So you've grown up in Grimsby and Cleethorpes then?
I have, yes.
Yeah. And we both went to Lindsay, didn't we?
We did.
I didn't really know you at school, did I?
No.
Can't really remember. I can't remember you being musical at school. Was you into music at school?
I think I started quite late on, actually. It was probably about 15.
Oh,
so
right,
it
yeah,
was like
yeah.
getting towards the latter stage
Yeah.
of school. Yeah.
Similar for me, really. But
I've
yeah,
always listened to, like,
always been
music
into
and
it.
stuff like that. It just took somebody I knew that played guitar, and I was like, actually... And then it grew from there, yeah.
Well, we'll touch on that a little bit later on, but what about you, Joel? Tell us about you. Who are you? Who is Joel? What makes you Joel?
It's my name, I think. I was actually born in Lincoln myself. Yeah, back in 1985. So I'm a little bit older than Louise, but
80s kid.
yeah, I've been into all sorts of music over the years, like so many different genres. But kind of got into music again in like this stage of my life after meeting Louise. So that's.
So when did you move here then? If you was born in Lincoln, when did you move to Grimsby?
It was in 1987. My dad got a job here, so we kind of.
What was that doing?
He was like a HGV driver.
Yeah.
Just drove lorries and things. It was like transporting cars and things like that.
Oh, right,
so,
yeah.
He was offered a job here, so we moved here really.
So growing up then, what was it like in the family home with music and things like that? Was it...
Well, my
Did that
mum
kind
always...
of inspire you as a child to make you want to do it yourself?
Well, I remember my mum always listening to, like, Metallica and stuff like that. I don't like Metallica, personally. It's not my kind of music. But then when she met my stepdad, he used to listen to bands like the Black Keys and Led Zeppelin and loads of bands like that. And I was, like, really getting into listening to stuff like that. So that's where it's sort of stemmed from.
Right.
I think, yeah.
What about you, Joel?
I guess. I mean, my dad was born in 1946, so he's...
Really?
Yeah, he's not with us now. Neither is my mum. She was born in 1950.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like growing up during the time of like the Beatles and everything like that. So, so they were... Well, my dad was a big Beatles fan, Rolling Stones and everything. My mum like loved Queen and ELO and different music like that. I wouldn't say it necessarily. Maybe it did kind of like have a sideward sort of inspiration for me to play music, but I never really thought about playing music so much, especially when my dad was alive. At any point while he was alive.
So what made you think that this is something I want to do?
I think I just picked up a guitar when I was probably about 15, 16.
Right.
And then just learned how to play it. And then that kind of like steamrolled onto other things, started to learn different
I
instruments.
suppose it's like that domino effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, once you start learning something, it leads to something else, and then...
It was just guitar to begin with. Like, I think when I first started guitar, it was more like into sort of like metal music. I don't listen to metal music now. I mean, I still like have a cheeky listen to Linkin Park, like maybe
a cheeky one.
Yeah, like Limp Bizkit. You've been to see them recently, haven't? Or are you going to see
March next year? Yeah,
right,
yeah. I can't wait for that.
Big fan of Wes Borland, just like his sort of the way he dresses up and stuff. Not that I dress up, but
so more like the new metal sort of stuff, like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, I was well
along
into
them
them
lines. Yeah,
stuff like that.
That was good though.
Yeah,
good metal.
Yeah. Before that, it was like kind of like dance music. So I was like a big fan of people like Alice DJ. I remember seeing her at Cleethorpes.
Alice DJ.
Yeah, at the pier, and there was like 5 playing as well at the same time.
Oh, was that the party on the pier?
Yeah, that was
that was going back some time now, wasn't it? Who else was on that? Can you remember? I think like Billie Piper did a set there.
I think she was there. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was the beach was absolutely packed.
Yeah, when it was crazy.
I can imagine actually. Imagine it being crazy.
See, I can't imagine it. Like thinking about the pier now. Obviously, the pier is a chip shop now.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
It just shows how much it's changed over the years, doesn't it?
Yeah, crazy, really.
But yeah, I can't imagine. But yeah, I can't imagine they're just throwing a big gig on the beach like that these days.
No, it was out of the blue. But when I saw that Alice DJ was going out, right, I'm off.
Yeah, but was it what was it part of? What was that? Was it?
I don't know, mate. I can't remember.
Like I can remember years ago, you had some. Was it like a big weekend here or something?
It was something like
going
that,
on at the boating lake, wasn't there? Like
it was
loads of
everywhere.
people turned up. Yeah. I can't remember what the franchise was.
No.
Never mind. Anyway,
good day though.
So in terms of Lola and the Cosmic Getaway, how did this come about? Obviously, you're a couple, aren't you? You've got a child together. What did you meet through music, or did you get together and then think, let's do something, let's collaborate? Or...
No, we didn't meet through music. No.
It
was a friend knew of Joel first.
Okay. Which friend? Would I know him?
Lauren.
Oh, right, yeah.
Her partner, husband now actually, went cycling with Joel.
Oh, right, yeah. So... Oh, that's, is it Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know his brother. Well, I've met his brother Josh as well. Yeah,
we was racing on a particular day, and it was all of a sudden it started to like really get cold. It went to like -4, and I sort of like got hypothermia while I was racing. So I was back at the changing rooms at the end, and I was like almost on the floor.
When you say racing, what sort of racing was that?
Cycling, basically.
Right.
So just road racing and that.
Oh, right, okay,
yeah. So I used to be like big into that. It's just my back now that stops me, really.
Yeah. You'd look great in some cleats and.
Yeah.
Oh, that lycra. Lycra, not lycra.
We know what you meant.
But anyway, there was a picture circulating of me. Like, I actually had this hat on, but I was gaunt. Like, I looked dead. For some reason, that picture made an impact and messaged me with a lie. She messaged me with a lie, basically.
Oh, I messaged you due to... What was it? I can't remember now.
It was a suggested friend.
Suggested friends, yeah.
That sort of nonsense,
So what about the picture captivated you? Was it just, a man who looked...
What made you message him then?
Was it a man who looked defeated and malleable?
Yeah.
You wanted to save him, basically.
I wanted to save him, yeah.
You wanted to save him. Oh, that's brilliant. So how long was you together then before you started sort of dabbling in music together?
Was it before we went to America, or was it after?
I think it was after. I think it was about 3 years we was together first.
Really?
I think so.
I reckon it was about 2017 when we first started, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, music.
So you said before, after America, what was you doing in America? Did you move, was you travelling there, or...?
Yeah, we just went on a trip,
Just went for a 3-week trip, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
We love it over there, don't we?
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I think we started playing music together, just acoustically, wasn't it?
Yeah, originally, yeah.
Because you did it anyway. You've been doing it for years. I was just like, I can play if you want.
Yeah.
Because you don't like playing guitar, do you?
It's not that I don't like playing it. I just feel like I'm not at a good level. Let's say it's just really basic. So I just like to sing and write the music.
Quite a lot of people I know who can sing. They say like the guitar, it's like you can't 100% either of them. You've either got to do one or the other. Otherwise, you're compensating.
That's what I
and
feel
Steve's the same because Steve, from Healer, Steve can play guitar.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'd rather not play guitar when I'm singing, because when he's singing, he can just focus on that. Whereas when you're not that competent of a guitarist,
it's a lot to think about, isn't it?
Thinking about your changes and your rhythm out,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, whereas you can play guitar perfectly well, you don't need me to do it, but it's just that I think, like you was just saying about you can just concentrate on the singing, I think, so.
Yeah.
Are you a good guitarist then, Joel?
Yeah, well.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Obviously, I didn't know until today that you play guitar. I've always, I've only ever known you to
pedal lead and everything. Got loads
no. I've only ever known you to obviously do the electronic stuff. But
Well, originally we had guitar in the music.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what first made the sound. I think. The guitar,
I think so. Yeah.
Originally, like Tangerine Dreamin', the original version on Spotify. Okay. That's got like a major guitar riff in it, and that's our most popular song. So
for the audience that's listening now, what sort of music do you perform?
How would you describe it?
Electronic.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it's pop elements.
Some dark pop, maybe.
Yeah. It's tough because when people come up to us and say what we sound like,
it's difficult.
Yeah, they always say different things.
Yeah, straight away you're on the back foot, aren't you?
What inspired you both to go down that sort of genre in terms of music?
I can't even remember, to be honest. I think we must have been dabbling with sounds and then just gone, this is the sound we want.
Sounds right between you both, and then just sort of gone from there.
I think there's a harmony there between, because I like a really nice, dirty sounding synthesizer.
Yeah,
so it's got this scorching sound, like sort of like a really weird note on a Hans Zimmer score or something. It just touches you somewhere, not anywhere.
Oh God.
Like that, but it just gives you something that I don't think any other instrument can. An organ can in a church. It gives me the same sort of feeling.
Yeah.
It can do.
And I understand that, because I sing myself, so like when I sing, I feel it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying in terms of an instrument.
That sound, I think, complements Louise's voice, and I think they both come together, and it's just something a little bit different.
Originally, though, when we first started doing electronic music, I really struggled to sing with it. I've only ever played with an acoustic guitar, so I was always competing with the different sounds, but I feel like I've got a lot better now with it.
Do you use a click or anything? Do you use in-ears or anything like that?
I used to, but I don't now. I just play
just
don't need them now,
organically.
do we?
Just sort of got used to it and just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've set it out now, so we don't really need one. Even I don't need one anymore, so... I like to...
I think some songs,
like
it depends what you... If you're doing just a little bit of a piano part, I think sometimes it's good to have maybe a click track on so you don't go out of time or anything like that, but usually we don't.
I like it to feel organic, even though it's fairly... it's electronic, so it's synthesis, basically, so it is artificial, but I like it to try and sound a little bit organic. That's why I work all the different parameters myself when we're playing.
And I suppose that makes you.
Yeah,
in terms of what you perform.
I don't know if anyone else is doing what you're doing round here as well. It's quite unique to the area, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
I mean, correct me
true.
if I'm wrong, but I don't think there is anybody else doing it, is there?
so, no.
Playing
Not
synths
electronic music, no. I always feel quite nervous playing it, especially when we're playing with other bands and stuff, because they're all quite similar, aren't they, in a way? And then we get up and it's it's completely
So how many years
different.
have you been performing electronic music together?
2018, 19 time?
No, it would have been 17, 18, something like that,
around that time,
ages then.
Yeah,
we
we
did
had
have quite a big gap
We've only
in
just come back, though,
between.
so we've only been back this year.
So you had a spell off then, basically.
Yeah, obviously we had Penelope and our little
We did
girl.
quite a bit when we first started, didn't we? We got quite a few gigs in London and Sheffield, and we played Latitude Festival. We headlined the BBC Introducing Stage, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
That was 2019.
Yeah, that was 2019. So it was all kind of like...
How did that come about? Was that just through putting music on the uploader, or...?
Yeah,
I think
to begin
it was
with,
originally, and then was it Jamie Cullum that had listened to the songs?
There was
don't wanna say
stations
the
from
wrong
around the
person.
country that put forward tracks that they liked, basically. And then ours got put into a hat, and then there was a panel of, like you was just saying, Jamie Cullum and other, I don't know what you call them, musicians.
Ambassadors.
Simon Cowells of the world.
Yeah, and they were just picked a song that they liked, and one of ours was one of the ones selected, so we got the gig at Latitude, so it was amazing.
Well, that's
It
great.
was really good.
Yeah, it sounds it. And would you say that's your biggest gig that you performed?
Yeah,
or?
by far.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the peak, wasn't it? But then after that, it was COVID, wasn't it? So everything went down.
So
and
when
that
you
was
say
it.
biggest gig, how many sort of people was you looking at in terms of performing in front of them?
Oh, there was a couple of hundred, wasn't there? It wasn't like one of the main
No, like
stages.
mega, no, but it's still mega for you guys.
Yeah, just to
It
come
was
off
full
stage.
in that. It was full in that area, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Completely
yeah.
full. So it was.
To come off stage and then you just hear over in the distance Stereophonics still like finishing off their set, and then you've got like Underworld finishing off their set, and
And
mental,
who was it
really.
that played before us? Tom Grennan and Freya Rydens
Yeah, on
played
the same
before us
stage,
on
On the
same
introducing stage.
Yeah.
What? So this was pre sort of Tom Grennan blowing up.
No, they were. I
he
think
was
they do
quite big
secret.
anyway.
They do secret shows. I think on the introducing stage.
Oh right, okay, he's just dropping in for a set. Yeah.
So that was
Nice
cool.
one.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a really good experience for you then.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was really
amazing.
good.
Yeah, really
Hotel
enjoyed
was
it.
nice, wasn't it?
Oh gosh, it was.
Was
the
it all
best
expenses
place ever.
paid and that as well?
No,
No, but it's
No.
still
Not
nice.
my-
Oh, so you just booked yourself a nice hotel and you're boasting about it.
Because was it in Suffolk?
Yeah,
Suffolk. Yeah, we stayed at this big. Was it like a
Farmhouse, wasn't it?
farmhouse? Yeah. And we had our own breakfast room, and it was massive, wasn't it? And it had its own like little carousel thing in there. It
Paid
was
for our own
weird.
red carpet treatment.
Yeah, we paid for our own. Yeah, it was so good, so good.
So have you got any more moments as a musician that's helped kind of shaped you? So for example, for me, I've lost my train of thought.
It's all right, you can
An
click it
example
out.
as a musician.
Edited out, innit?
Yeah.
Well, so what's the biggest sort of stage you've played on? Do you know what I mean?
Biggest stage we've played
Yeah,
on?
for yourself to shape you guys.
Well, for probably last weekend, mate, the auditorium.
Which I went to that, and
Yeah, you
it
was there.
it was
I saw
good.
the
You know?
pictures
Yeah, it
and
was a
videos,
special
it was
gig.
amazing.
Yeah.
Sold out, so 1,200 tickets were sold. Unbelievable. But, for those who are listening, if you've not seen Coldplay, they are such a good tribute band.
Yeah.
I'm usually not that into tribute bands, I'll be
No,
honest.
I was going to say my opinion on tribute bands is some of them are good, some of them aren't. But Coldplay's
I think I saw them.
generally was
I
good.
think they've been going for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah. I think they are, but the sound and lighting and everything they put into their set and the stage show, it's unbelievable. It's just like watching the real thing.
Yeah.
I imagine.
It sounded
Not
good,
seeing
like
the real thing.
because I saw them in 2003. I think at the Beachcomber. I think I'd just got
so
was
they've
it
been
Ghost
going some
Recon
years
on it
as
on
well,
the first Xbox.
What's that?
Ghost Recon on the first Xbox I got the same day.
Yeah,
I remember. I don't know why it's such a vivid memory. And then I went to that gig to watch Coldplay at the Beachcomber. I think 2003.
some years ago. Then.
Yeah.
We've spoke about maybe trying to get one of them on, haven't we? To have a chat about it because
That would be interesting.
Yeah, they do some huge gigs. They do
But
some
I
huge
didn't realise
stadiums.
it was actually from Grimsby themselves.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
So that's interesting in itself, isn't it? So
I'm good. You had a good gig though at that. At
Yeah.
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah, I mean, didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'm not really into Coldplay, so I wasn't like,
Yeah.
didn't really know what to expect. But
have they changed your mind though?
they have in a sense, yeah. I mean, not to the extent where I'm gonna become a
That new
fanboy
stuff,
or
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
but they have changed my opinion of them as a band, definitely. Probably because they performed it so well.
Yeah.
If music's played well, you can appreciate it mostly, can't you?
Yeah.
So obviously you guys are playing the second Sounds from the Dockside live event. You looking forward to it?
Yeah. Can't wait.
What are you expecting from tonight? What are your expectations?
Like, I'm expecting CD lights.
CD lights, yeah. And CD people.
No, not CD people. No,
Joking.
CD people. No.
CD people or CD?
No, I'm expecting an attentive sort of up for it sort of grooving crowd. I think hopefully that are going to appreciate it. Especially
Well, I can't wait to hear you guys.
Yeah,
because I've not heard your music yet, so
hopefully
I'm
hopefully,
I'm sure I
yeah.
will, because I like all kinds of music really. So
take you on a few different places. I think hopefully in terms of bit of a boogie, bit of a dance, and then take you to some darker places and some more mellow places. And
Yeah, your set is quality though. I always big you guys up to everyone.
Thank you.
Glad you're coming down. So you both was at the first event we did.
Spirit, yeah.
With Kid Spirit and your Redmond. How was that? What did you think?
Amazing. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I love the place in general. Like, as soon as I walked in and I saw the Overlook picture on the Overlook Hotel picture on the wall.
The Overlook Hotel. I'm not sure.
Is it the Overlook Hotel? Does it say that on the wall?
Is it the Shining one?
The
Downstairs?
Shining one, yeah. But you walk in.
I don't know which. I don't know which one you're on about. I can't think off the top of my
when
head.
you walk in.
Yeah,
Right,
literally
yeah.
as you
There
walk
is that
in,
much going on in this building. It's like you don't know where to look, do you?
Well,
There's so much going on.
I was like, I don't care what goes on tonight. I love this poster.
Yeah.
But
It's great.
This building is amazing. I mean, I'm in recovery myself, and this place and the people behind it has changed my life.
Yeah.
I've put the action in, obviously,
Yeah.
but I've been guided by the correct people. So to
You've
see
just
what,
you just
that's what you
celebrated a
need.
little milestone as well in your sobriety
yeah.
journey,
So
haven't you?
last
So tell
Thursday, I
everyone.
was 3 years clean and sober.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
So
Amazing.
yeah, it's definitely a journey, but like this place in general is there's
think-
nothing like it.
I think that's
Yeah.
what you need. I think you need a community of support to guide you towards like the light as such, so you don't get
Yeah.
drawn back into that kind
Yeah, exactly. And
Way.
it's the idea of this place is to. I mean, those that have been here, if anybody's listening that's been here, they'll see and they'll know. But it's been done out by people in recovery themselves. You know, like
Yeah.
ex-convicts, people that have been to prison and really had tough lives.
Yeah.
This building's been created by all sort of people.
By them, for them.
And,
you know.
Yeah.
and it's an amazing thing. So I think the sessions that we're doing in terms of the music nights, the gigs and stuff, the sober sessions, I think that's important as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And to definitely bring artists in and bands from the local area to have a sober night.
Yeah.
I think that's something that not many people have experienced.
I think it's amazing because, like, sometimes when you go to gigs, it's just a nightmare, isn't it? When there's like a bar there and you're like, it's just so out of control.
Yeah.
So to be able to go somewhere where you can just have a night where it's just tea, coffee, soft drinks, it's so much more.
Well, there's no pressure, is there?
There's no pressure, no.
And that again, that's the idea of this building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that are in it is freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's great. Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, just creating something different, aren't we? We're trying
Exactly.
to.
Yeah,
It's
we're
good. It's
I
trying
think
to.
that's a good thing to do, and I think it's like a brave thing to do as well. Because sometimes you probably think, "Oh God, is it going to work?"
exactly.
Yeah.
it's-
I mean, Sam who runs this place, you know, he won't mind me saying, but he's in recovery as well, and
Yeah.
he was like, "How's it going to work without drink? You know, people want to go out and
That's
have a
what
drink."
people immediately
yeah.
think.
And I was
don't
like,
they?
let's just see how it goes. Just trust me on it, you know. And luckily, the first one, it really highlighted the music element of the night, you know, without there being any alcohol there. Like, it
Absolutely.
forced everyone to actually sit and pay attention to the music rather than talking over each other and, you know, queuing up for the bar and things like
Yeah, I
that.
don't find it enjoyable when it's like that.
Have you ever
personally.
performed like a sober session before then, or?
No, we've not
No.
actually done
What
a
do you-
sober
what-
session.
What, here? Do you
In
mean here
general,
or?
isn't it?
Just in general,
General,
like, have you ever?
time?
Yeah.
I don't drink, so yeah.
Our session, personally.
Yeah, we don't. You drink. You like have the odd one, don't you? Like
Yeah.
In terms of the
Really?
audience, have you ever performed in? You know, like you're gonna obviously gonna perform later on. So,
Yeah.
have you ever performed to a total sober room?
oh right, yeah. No, I
I
don't
think
so.
the one last week, that they weren't like drunk. I don't think
Yeah. Well,
Which one was that? Sorry.
it was at the living room. You know, on.
Oh yeah,
Alexandra
that's
Road.
yeah.
part of the, is it the culture house who's running
Yeah,
that?
the
That's right,
Clutch
yeah.
House,
Yeah,
How was that? Was that any good?
It was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
really
really good,
enjoyed
yeah.
it. It was kind of a similar thing. It was like really intimate, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
Really good.
I created like a whole new set of music. It was like really stripped back, so I really like focused on some like the more melodic parts, the
Yeah.
synthesizer things, and it was more like soundtrack music sort of thing. And I think it worked really well. I think everybody was like so focused, like listening and everything. It was one of the best gigs all year, I think. So yeah, it'd be good to play that sort of thing again.
You've been really busy recently, haven't you?
Yeah.
With gigs, you've been doing a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, this year, yeah.
Yeah,
It is
it's
for
been
our first
crazy.
year back. Yeah, I can't believe how well it's gone, really.
Oh, so this is your first year back then gigging,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, we had
We've had a
a
long
huge
time
break,
out.
didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
how
feel like it's picking up quite a bit.
how do you obviously you're a couple, you know, you're new parents, relatively new parents. How do you find that, you know, trying to find the time to gig and rehearse, obviously we're having such a young child? How do you balance that, you know, your music life with your sort of personal life?
Mm-hmm. It is quite
yeah.
It's quite difficult. Yeah.
Bags under my eyes.
Yeah, because you practice quite a lot by yourself, don't you?
Yeah,
and then
it's a lonely experience.
And then I'll look after our daughter downstairs or whatever. I'll take her out. Joel does his fair share.
You like popping off him, you know, on musical breaks, like going to grab the baby and like back in for your chorus.
If she's playing, happy playing by herself, then I'll come and do the set with you. And
we'll practice,
so we do get a few practices.
Just basically juggling what you can then. Just
and because I work as well, don't I?
Yeah.
So I'll go to work and then I come back, tend to Penelope, and then try and get some practices in.
Yeah.
What do you do for work, Louise?
I work in a pharmacy at the moment.
Oh, right, yeah. Do you work, Joel? Or?
Yeah, well, graphic designer and then
video.
Obviously do all the freelance stuff, photography, video and music stuff, yeah.
So you living pretty busy lives then?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like my head's going to just blow up.
Yeah, it's very busy. But I suppose it'll be more difficult next year when we actually come to write some new music, because we've got a couple of new songs, but they were on and off for a couple of years. So when we actually come to make some actual new music next year, I think that'll test us a little bit in terms of the time commitment and things, because then we've got to like kind of work together to create that bit of music, because I usually just do all the music. Louise does the melodies and the lyrics.
Is that how it is then, your creative process? So do you just, you know, are you playing with your synths and you're like, I'm on to this, you know, put something to that, or do you
sometimes I will do it on the GarageBand, won't I? Like do a melody on there,
just
and I'll
good
say,
sketch
Joel,
pad, isn't it? Yeah.
Will you put this into something else, and then I'll write some lyrics to it. It's usually like that.
Yes, we usually sketch out ideas on like lesser programs and things like that. So come up with ideas like little hooks and things, and then I'll recreate it on the hardware sort of things.
Yeah.
That's how it.
So to everyone that's listening, where can they listen to your music?
I think it's on most things, isn't it? We've got some live sessions on YouTube. We've got some music on Spotify, iTunes, just the general stuff. That's
so they
out
just
there,
have to put in Lola and the Cosmic Getaway, and then most of your music will come up there.
A lot of the recordings, I would say, like they're kind of like when I was first getting started in like producing and things like that. So it's I could probably do a lot better job now, but I think even though producers get better over time, there's still magic to music when you first start making it. So I think if I was to remake it, it would sound better technically. But I think the magic is there for some reason. People have got onto it, like a couple of songs anyway. Like I listen to them now and I'm thinking, I'd do that so differently. Because it's when you're first starting out. But they're like your most listened to songs.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one.
Some people admire like the originality, like the rawness of it, don't they? When something's not too overly produced and manufactured, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice one.
So when you write your songs, Louise, what inspires you? How do you come up with the lyrics?
You've got to be in the zone to write music. You can't.
And how do you get in that zone?
Usually, it's a weird one because you'll have like a day where you just write loads and loads and loads, and it comes from nothing.
Yeah.
Or like it'll be like a dream that you had, or a memory, or something that's nostalgic or something.
Yeah.
And then you just go off on a tangent and write loads of music. But then you'll have days where you don't write anything at all. But I feel like it just comes naturally.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really cliche, but it just comes or it doesn't, basically.
Yeah, I can relate to that myself. I mean, because I've wrote a few songs that are on Spotify and iTunes as well, and it's like sometimes I have that mental block.
Yeah.
And it's like I relate back to my past, and I've channeled that into music, because it's like it's kind of making a bit of freedom up inside my head, you know. It's like taking the power out of that thought in terms of writing. So that's what works for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it the same for you, Joel? How do you, what forces you to sit down and turn everything on and
I just like experimenting with sound, I guess. Sometimes you'll try like a preset out somewhere and you'll tweak it to make it sound like something, or it can be something as small as taking a sound recorder out with you, recording a little bit of nature, the way a stone falls on a floor or something, and then adding that onto a drum sound, and create these unique sort of spatial sounds.
What gives you the ideas to do that though?
Just
because you can't just obviously make it up, can you? Something must.
Sometimes
inspire
I can hear it in my head.
Right,
it's like a voice.
Okay.
But it's more like a
drop
sound
that
effect.
Stone.
Kind of Hans Zimmer's German voice just in my head, just like saying, "Try this out." Or try
the app you get on Macs.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah,
You could produce a song on that, and no one who no one would listen to it and think it wasn't anything other than professional.
I think it's Grimes, wasn't it, that did all of her music on GarageBand?
Really?
Grimes,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that's like the first record she did was a banger. So.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you use? What DAW do you use?
Logic for that, and then for playing live, I use Machine or Ableton, depending on what I'm doing, really. Yeah.
I look at your equipment and I'm like, honestly, I'm like, where do you start? You know,
it annoys me if I've got too much with me, though. I've got too much with me today. I don't like it. I like it just to be one analog synthesizer and then a sequencer, and that's all I like.
Simplified a little bit.
Yeah.
For yourself, yeah.
I've got a couple more bits today, and I hate it. So.
Why bring it then?
Because I haven't had time to sample it into the sequencer yet, so I don't have to bring it. So I'm having to still bring it along till I get time to take it all and re-record it in.
Where does it stop with equipment, though? You know, there's always something else to buy in there.
Gas, isn't it? That's what you call it.
Gas?
Gear acquirement syndrome. That's what it's called, gas.
What, you mean you need gas in?
No.
I was like, whoa, this has got a bit
that's
weird.
the name anyway. That's all the YouTubers say. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I see how it is, yeah.
You can never not have enough gear, though, can you? Really?
It gets ridiculous. Like,
I think it becomes a bit of an obsession and like a habit to buy things. Do you know?
I think especially as a musician as well, because there's that much stuff out there that makes sound.
Yeah,
you know,
that's it.
It's like, I've not got one of them. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a 5-note kalimba. You know, it's like, but it might come in handy that one time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and they all don't sound great unless you put like a good sound effect on it, a nice reverb pedal or something, or a good delay pedal or something.
You said you didn't see your pedals, didn't you?
Yeah, I love those. Yeah, got quite an extensive collection because I used to obviously be into guitar a lot more. But when I first got back into music with Louise, it was mainly with the guitar, with pedals. But I like to use them on the synthesizers as well. So
When you used to take that pedal board around, it was huge.
oh, yeah,
It was something else, that, wasn't it?
They are cool though. So what sounds you can do with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's I don't know her name, but there's someone on YouTube and she plays a harp.
yeah, I've seen.
She's
it,
a pedal enthusiast.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just put loads of content up of her playing harp through these different pedals, and she
That's
makes a lot
nice.
of like 8-bit sort of like theme songs for games and stuff as well.
Oh, wow.
But her pedal collection's insane.
Yeah.
So you've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Can you remember her name? I
No,
can't
not a
remember
name,
her
but I know I've seen it. Yeah.
It's a shame I can't remember her name because I would have plugged that. But it's just the harp girl. We'll call her that.
Yeah, the harp girl.
Yeah, there's a similar person that does it with violins as well, I think.
Is there?
Yeah, I can't remember her name either.
But there's a lot of
we'll have to get better at
talent
this.
out there, though, isn't there, as well, that people are very good at what they do, but they're not even noticed.
Yeah, especially in the age of social media and stuff.
Yeah,
you can make it as a musician without playing a gig, can't you? That's what you're doing, isn't it? Really?
Well, giving it a go, yeah. I mean, because the biggest thing for me was confidence.
Yeah.
So obviously, back when I was drinking, I was totally shot with confidence.
Yeah.
So it's taken its toll on me throughout my life, and now I'm at a point where I am starting to get my confidence back. So, I've started to sing a little bit and just trying to see what happens, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drink can be terrible. It has a really bad effect on you in terms of paranoia and anything that makes
But
you
it
think.
destroys you. Anybody that's listening, if you think you've got a drink problem, you probably have got a drink problem, or drugs even.
And the fact as well that it's so easily accessible, like anyone can drink. Like, it's crazy how accessible it is.
So cheap as well.
And so cheap and
so ingrained in society as well, you know, like everyone grows up seeing, you know, people they look up to consume alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, on a weekly basis for a lot of people.
And it's just not good for you at all.
No,
but everybody tries to validate it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is the drink.
Oh, a few drinks don't hurt.
The problem is the drink, but then you put the drink down and then they are the problem.
Yeah.
But people don't see the difference in that.
No.
So it's a tough one.
It is
Everybody's
tricky.
got different opinions on it.
Yeah.
But until you've gone through it and come out the other side a little bit, which I'm sort of doing, you know, it's just a day at a time, but it's a difficult path for people.
Yeah, and it's a lot of money involved in drink, because if we just stopped selling alcohol, think about the economy, that's what they would, you know, that's what they would say, wouldn't it? But
I can only speak for me personally. I don't need alcohol to do anything. It's like I've not needed it for 10 years.
Right. So you haven't had a drink for 10 years then, basically?
No, I mean, I've had like the odd beer maybe like once.
That was a long time ago, though, I think.
I think the last beer I had was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was just like one on a night time. The last time I got drunk was 10 years ago.
Right.
And that was like, I think that was on my 30th birthday.
So what made you think that you didn't want to do that anymore then?
I was going through...
Was it affecting you, or...?
I think the reason why I was drinking so much, it was wine at the time, red wine. And it was just because of a personal problem. And I just thought that was the answer, really. But the amount of times that I just kept waking up, just not knowing how I'd got there.
Yeah.
You know, I like...
Was you drinking daily then, or just like every other day, or...?
It wasn't necessarily daily. It's just like when I did, it was just always like, right, this is it. I'm just going to get absolutely wasted.
Like straight to 10. Yeah, no moderation. Just drinking to get obliterated.
Yeah. So I just decided... I think because I didn't drink every day, it wasn't like at the sort of like addiction level.
Yeah.
So I was able to just like go, look, this isn't good. So I'm just going to like knock it on the head. And then I kind of like got into, because I think it was after I finished university, that was it, yeah. So I was into a lot of fitness as well as doing that at the time. So I was cycling and racing a lot.
Right.
So I kind of prioritised that over it. I was like, well, look, I can't do this racing, like stage races, 7-day stage races, if I'm wasted all the time.
Yeah.
So I just knocked it on the head. And I think I was lucky because I wasn't at the addiction level.
Yeah.
So, but I think it could have easily got there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it could have grabbed you
it
without you
will
noticing.
get you.
Yeah.
No matter what, if it's drink or drugs, it will take you down that path.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got you've got an addictive personality.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol, it can be anything then.
Yeah.
Food, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Sugar.
Food. It's just channeling that addiction mindset into something positive, isn't it? Isn't it?
Finding something that you can, it's like takes you away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding something that gives you fulfillment other than trying to find fulfillment in substance, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's why music is so important to a lot of people. It takes you away from that bad place, and you can write all that emotion and perform it to people. And even though it's hard to do sometimes, it's sort of like a release.
Yeah,
Quite weird.
Well, that's referring back to what I said earlier. Obviously, writing it takes me back to the past, but I can revisit that today. But I can channel it in a different way.
Yeah.
And because you're not, because you're at a baseline and you have been for 3 years now.
Yeah.
It's like you're reassessing it, aren't you? You're looking at it from a fresh perspective,
Exactly.
Them things that might have brought you shame and that when you was using alcohol, you can look back on them now and you can dissect them a bit more and forgive yourself over them, I assume, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had to rebuild my life, like totally. I've had to change everything in order for me to get where I am today.
Yeah. I think it takes yourself having to do something rather than other people around you as
exactly,
well.
And you have to put that action in, and it's all right putting the drink down, but then you've got to put the action in. Then you've got like for me, I put the drink down, and I was still feeling the same. So I was sitting with myself, and I was thinking, well, is this it? Like, what's the point of stopping drinking if I still feel like this?
Yeah.
But then Sam Delaney, who's the director of Creative Start CIC, which who's building we're in now, he's guided me and we're real close, we're real good friends, and I can't put into words how I feel now to how I used to feel.
Yeah.
Like I can't get that across.
Special, mate.
Because it is special, yeah.
It's making me emotional.
It's totally changed my life.
Yeah.
And the power in it is amazing.
Yeah.
I've never felt so good in my life, ever.
That's good,
Yeah.
You got your life back, haven't you, mate?
Well, I'm building it.
Yeah.
I'm building
It's not just that, but you've done it at a point where, you can shake off the effects of using the alcohol. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
You can get yourself...
I can face life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can face problems.
But
Yeah.
unfortunately,
I can
for a
get
lot of
through
people, it can, some people who it's grabbed for years and years and years, when they get to that point where they're going, I can't sustain this anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're in a position where the bodies had that much of a beating that they're never going to be the same again, are they? They're always going to suffer from the use.
Some people don't. And ultimately, those that don't, as sad as it sounds, it's death.
Yeah, you can't cheat it, can you?
No.
Not the boots, you can't cheat it. Right.
So, what time are we on anyway? Cut this a little bit.
It got really deep, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think people like that though.
Yeah.
Because it's something for them to listen to.
Definitely.
Because people on the last one that we did, we had quite a bit of feedback saying that they like to hear about people's lives.
Yeah.
The story a little bit. So
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
I lost my dad to drugs, so it's always made me not want to touch it. Like I've drank before. That is a drug, though, isn't it? I suppose.
It is,
it is,
Yeah. So
but not to that extent.
not
I'm
to
guessing.
the extent of what he was using at the time.
How old
sort
was
of
you,
thing.
Louise?
Not very old. I think I was like 6 or 7. I know I was in school. Yeah, in primary school. So yeah, even though at the time you don't really know them closely because you're young, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you think, why did that happen?
Yeah.
But it's obviously easily available, and there's not the right help out there as such, is there? Or being guided by.
I think drug use is very. There's a big stigma attached to it, isn't there? You know what I mean? When a lot of people, obviously you get people who take drugs socially. You get people who it's an illness for them. It really is. But it's almost like that stigma needs to change, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It needs to be more accepted. People disregard someone who uses drugs and just goes, they're not worth it, basically. But everyone's a human being,
Absolutely, yeah.
Likelihood is they're using substances because they've had something traumatic go on in their lives, or they're trying to use it as a crutch to deal with something.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people see that, and I think hopefully conversations like this will just help people talk about it a bit more. There is support available. Anyone who's listening to this who's got a problem with drugs or alcohol,
reach out because there is help.
Yeah. James is living proof of that.
Like, stop living in denial with yourself. You've got to surrender.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's help out there. There's a lot of guidance. There's a lot of suggestions. Ultimately, it's down to you.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, is it, mate? You get called out on your own bullshit, don't you? You've got to look your own bullshit.
And it's not nice to hear it.
No.
Yeah.
I got called out on it when I first stopped drinking, and it's like, because I was always right. But then when I got sober and started to get well, I could look at myself and think, do you know what? I am the problem.
Yeah.
Instead of everyone else, it's always been me.
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot to actually say that, doesn't it? Like, that you are the issue, not everybody else.
Exactly, and people don't, because people don't know how to work on themselves.
Yeah.
So they point the finger.
Yeah.
Everyone else is the problem. But actually, hang on a minute. Do you ever think you're the problem?
Yeah.
Why is everybody's lives upside down? Oh, because he's done that, she's done that. Is it? Or is it because of that person? What their behaviours, the way they're carrying on.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
Well, from musicians, take it from me, probably Louise as well. We don't need drink to perform. Never have done. So, I think if people feel like it doesn't come part and parcel, which I think a lot of people do, then I don't know. I think you can. I'm not saying, because I don't want to sound like I'm above anybody or anything. I'm just saying you can create maybe more even genuine music to yourself, because you're not under anything.
Yeah.
So you're not being manipulated in any way.
So in terms of your confidence when you perform, how do you feel? Like, because a lot of people, they'll have a drink or some kind of drug before they perform to try and dim that confidence, to bring themselves up a little bit. So how does that make you feel, obviously going clean, sober, performing?
It's hard. It's hard for me because I'm always like, gonna throw up. But then you're like, well, it's what you want to do, so you're going to have to do it, and everybody's here to see you. So I'd force myself to play. Then after about 2 songs in, it's absolutely fine. It's just that initial getting out there and doing it. But
you have some sort of mantra or something that you do, something that, you said like you talk to yourself, you tell yourself you've got to do it.
Yeah, I just switch off. After I say, well, there's nothing you can do about it, and then I just sort of like switch off. It's weird. It's like you turn a...
It's like you just give yourself an ultimatum and that's it. You can't back out from it.
You go into it and you just do it.
What do you do get any nerves when you perform, Joel?
Not really. I don't get nervous playing. I'm kind of like busy, really. Just like focusing what I get.
I suppose you've got a lot going on, aren't you, in terms of what you're creating?
Yeah, I stopped getting nervous like performing like music like quite a few years ago, but I think something switched off years ago.
Yeah, but do you know why that'll be? That'll be because you don't drink.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what it'll be.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like for me, before I perform, it is like a nervous feeling, but I'm not like, there's nothing saying, I can't go out there and do that.
Yeah.
It's like a nervous like giddiness, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I'm in the green room before I go on and I'm like jumping up and down, I'm running,
like
I'm like, I've got loads of energy, loads of excitement.
I look forward to playing,
It's almost like I've got to burn that nervousness off before I get on stage, but there's nothing, I'm, played some big gigs now and I'm never like, this is too big, or this is intimidating,
Yeah.
But I think with anything, the more you do it, the more accustomed you get to it. I remember being nervous when I was like 15, 16,
Yeah.
playing to more than 4 people and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't really get the nerves, but you're trying to work on your confidence, aren't you?
When it's coming
to perform.
Like, I've always liked singing, as I've said, but like back when I was drinking again, I'd never, I wouldn't do it in front of anyone.
Yeah.
Because I was that nervous. Because it's what you think they think.
Yeah.
But I think I'm starting to believe in myself today, and basically not care what people think.
Yeah.
Everyone's got an opinion, but so have I.
Absolutely, If you was bothered about what people think all the time, you literally wouldn't go out, would you?
Exactly, and it's that's where I was at. But today's different.
I'm just usually at the front, like looking out to the crowd, thinking, "What are they thinking about this gap in my face?" That's what I'm usually doing. So if I see anyone looking, I'm just like,
what are you looking at?
so you haven't got to deal with that. So think about that. You'll be fine, mate. Yeah.
But, for James, who's looking to get into performing, have you got any tips or advice you could give to him to help him sort of bridge that gap and, get out on stage and give it some?
I don't know. I always say, like, don't ever chase anything.
Yeah.
Just be true to yourself. Like, it's easy to, like, go along with trends and things like that. So if you ignore all that and just focus on you, basically, and just do what you enjoy, don't change it in any way, because that's what makes you you.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah.
So just focus on that, and then I think it'll just make it easier because you're not trying to imitate anything. It's easy to get inspiration and influence.
You're not kidding yourself, I suppose, are you?
That's just what I say. Yeah.
What would your sort of advice be, Louise?
As a singer, yeah.
As a singer,
I would say
just get on with it.
I would probably just say just get on with it, to be honest, because that's what I tell myself. Like if I'm in a situation where I'm like, I don't know whether to do this gig or I don't know whether to play like live or whatever, I'm just like, just do it. Because if you don't do it, you're going to look back and go, why didn't I do it?
Yeah.
So even if you're really nervous, like I get quite nervous and I'm not a very confident person.
Right, okay.
So I struggle with it, like you were saying. But if you force yourself just to keep doing these little gigs and stuff like that,
gets
a little bit easier. You're always going to have that,
Well, it's like you were just saying then, Dave, and you've, performed for for time, haven't you?
Yeah. It just gets easier and easier and less overwhelming, to the point where it becomes fun. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's like a giddy nervousness. It's like all the feelings are there. But
do you know what?
No
It's weird you say that, because when obviously I watched you last week at the auditorium, because I went with Simon, he was like, I said to him, do you know what? I just wish that I was up there, because I got that feeling a little bit.
Yeah.
And I said to him, do you know what? I'd love to be up there, because it's just I was getting a buzz.
Are you planning on playing anywhere soon? Or?
Well, we've got a jam night here on the 12th of December.
Yeah.
If you want to come along.
Yeah.
It'd be good to get some sims. Actually, Loki, 7 till 9 on the 12th of December. Yeah, just come along. We'll get the PA out. We've got a few instruments, a few people.
Yeah, it's just like a little jam night, really.
Yeah.
But you said you wanna sort of kick the night off. Just no pressure, is there? Just when people are turning up.
Just
sounds good. Yeah, we'll come watch you.
And just build on that. We'll get you on one of the nights soon, won't we?
Yeah.
That's the plan. And
we've got, for those listening, we've got gigs planned. I think between now and next May, we've got at least one gig going on down here a month.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think next one after this is the 15th of December with Brad Arliss and Eden Ray Lake.
Right.
I think there's still some tickets for that as well if anyone wants them. So, right, have you got anything else, James?
I'd like to ask one more question, which is, how would you like to see the music industry support people who want to get into sobriety?
Sorry, what was it? Can you say it again, please?
So, how would you like to see the music industry support artists that want to get into sobriety?
I think that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I think there's a huge problem with not being sober in the music industry, and there's a lot of money. Fame gets to your head, so it's like a spiral, isn't it? But I think, like you say, you need to... Well, it's eventually going to get you, isn't it, in the end, if you're not sober? And, like, how many people in the music industry have died, like the 27 Club and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it just takes, like, something like this, like local, to branch out so that people can realise that they don't need to drink and stuff like that. And eventually, when it gets bigger, it will become a trend. Even though it shouldn't become a trend, it should just be.
Yeah.
Because, being sober is a good thing.
I think generationally, probably our generation was that last generation where it was normalised for us growing up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I kind of looked forward to going out and getting hammered when I was 18. That is not an aspiration to have when you're younger.
No, it's
but
not.
Less young people are smoking, less young people are drinking. It's not hip anymore, is it, to drink and smoke?
No,
less
it's a
and less.
societal
I've
thing,
seen
isn't it, I think?
But I think they're creating other avenues.
Vaping.
Yeah, vaping and things like that. Yeah, and I think that can lead into things, because I can see something happen with alcohol. I've talked to you about this before. I can see them creating something that's artificial to do with alcohol, because they save you with one hand, but they know that the money disappears from that revenue, so they need to make a new one. And this is what happens. And in terms of the industry, I think the biggest problem is they're more bothered about the money.
Yeah.
So
the reality is, a lot of venues that put on live music sustain their venue through the sale of alcohol.
Exactly, like free entry and things like that. Whereas this hasn't got that. It's other things. This is just down to the music. Come and see some great music, which is I love that. And it's not just a free event. Come and buy absolutely shit tons of alcohol.
Yeah.
But I think things like green rooms, for example, the fridges are loaded with alcohol, with beers and things. I don't think it's going to change. It's
Free beer.
No. I think young people need to be protected as musicians. You see too many young people that get famous, they can't handle it, and they turn to substances and things, and they just go mental. Like you're talking to people like Michael Jackson. He was a young musician, and it just went. It's always the same. It's all young film stars, everything. The industry.
Well, look at Liam Payne, who recently passed away. He was shot to stardom as a young boy, and to get that much fame and money at at such a young age. You know, your brain's not fully formed, is it? You don't know who you are.
No.
You know, throwing drugs and alcohol into the mix at any age is not going to help your development, is it? No. But doing it as a young kid, you know.
They make you love it, though, on TV, like with your X Factors and things.
Try and sell it.
Yeah.
And people don't realise, but by supporting it so much, it's going to create problems for them. Yeah, it's great that they're performing and things like that, making music. People
but there's a lot behind the scenes that people don't see. You know, as a viewer on, say, the TV, there's a lot behind the scenes that people don't see.
In every industry, there's people out to make money, I think.
Because it's about control. People like control, don't they?
Absolutely.
Because it's all about more money, control, and to shape, say, an artist into who they want to be. Instead, you said to that advice, you said to me, just do what I want to do.
Yeah, organic.
Be organic. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're getting right up there, then and you've got a manager and a deal and all that, they're steering you away from who you are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Right. It's been great to have you both on.
Thank you very much.
But
it's been a pleasure.
Before we end it, just want to close by saying, who should we be listening to?
I always like Bat for Lashes.
Bat for Lashes?
Yeah.
Why do you recommend that?
I don't know. There's just something about the music that she makes. She kind of makes stories with the music, and it's got this. There's always a concept to it. So there'll be albums that go down this sort of feeling like you're in this kind of American wilderness with like the sort of Twin Peaks kind of. It's got that sort of visual storytelling nature to it. This concept of one particular album, and you just feel like you're in that place through the whole album. So I could be driving home from, like, say, Lincoln to Grimsby, and it's about the length of that album. And I can put that album on at night, and I feel like I'm in that place where she's written that album.